Look, I don't claim to be some Tekken expert, but this isn't the Tekken I remembered. Hey everybody, what's going on? Today we're going to be taking a look at a movie that's based on a video game, so you know that's going to go pretty well, right? Today we're going to be taking a look at 2010's Tekken. Um, I don't have a lot of experience with Tekken. I played the original on the original PlayStation, and I played some of the later ones in arcades. I've never claimed to be an expert or anything. I know very little about the story. I know it's about the Mishima family, where we have Heihachi and Kazuya, and then Jin, which is grandfather, father, son. So I know that's kind of how it goes. But other than that, other than some of the characters like Yoshimitsu and Law, and just some of the original characters, I know them, but I still don't claim to know a ton about them. So if this movie is anything like the later games, I don't know it. But I'm not here to judge it as a video game movie. I'm here to judge it as a movie. So the basic setup to this is we're in Tekken City. The world is divided into like countries are divided into corporations and things, and we're based in Tekken City here, which is run by Heihachi Mishima, and which, by the way, is played by Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa, which the man's a legend. Not only does he get to be Heihachi, and he has the hair and everything, and it's fantastic, but of course he's played Shang Tsung as well. So, I mean, dude's a legend. Anyway, he runs everything. He has his son under him, and his son is ready to rule, but daddy says no. They're having the yearly Iron Fist tournament, and our main character, Jin, he is pulling criminal jobs for money so he can support him and his mom. But he ends up being found out. The people he sold to is found out. And then in an explosion, his mom dies. So he wants to get revenge on the Mishima family. So he attempts to enter the Iron Fist tournament, but he has to go in as a wild card. So he has to beat a former champion. He does end up getting in, and it's about his adventure through the tournament and all the dirty foul play that happens all throughout. Okay. This movie is meh. It's look, I wanted to really like this one because I do love martial arts movies, but really just the setup and the pacing and everything is what really gets this movie. I do like the character of Jin. He's your kind of everyman, kind of the I mean, and you know, even if you didn't know the game history or even a little bit of the game history, you would figure out out of two people who his daddy was. Now, going in, I knew that Kazuya was his dad and Heihachi was his grandfather, but if you didn't go in knowing anything, you'd be like, well, it's one of those two is his dad, right? It's either going to be Kazuya and him are brothers, or Kazuya's his dad. And you figure that really easy. But just the way this movie is set up it's not good, because while it starts off okay enough, where he has to get into the tournament, and he does by beating one of the former champions, or one of the established Iron Fist stars, that makes sense, but when they get in there, the tournament format doesn't make any sense. It does at first, where, yeah, you know, you got people fighting and someone loses, they're done. But eventually you get to a point where one of the fighters, Anna Williams, doesn't even fight. One of the fighters, Raven, doesn't even lose. But all of a sudden we're in the finals, and it's like, oh, okay. And really, a lot of the characters, even our main ones other than Jin, you don't really care about. You're supposed to care about Christy. She is one of the other fighters, and she kind of has a thing for Jin, and by the way, her martial art is seeing how low her pants can go, and including showing her rear half the time. I, is that in the game? I don't know. It wasn't a character I was familiar with. But you have her in there, and you're supposed to care about her, but she's kind of bland and generic, and is just there to be a love interest in some ways, somewhat, to Jin. Because here's the thing, Jin already has a love interest in Kara, who is, at his home area. That's who he gets with near the beginning of the movie. But then later he's all over Christy. So maybe there's a love triangle in the third one. I don't know. But then again, near the end of the movie, he just kind of walks away from Christy like nothing happened, which is kind of weird. So just the characters don't work. I mean, I did like Luke Goss in this. He plays Jin's handler, I guess you would call him, or his agent or whatever. He's like, all these other fighters got sponsors. You need someone to run your activities, and he ends up becoming friends with Jin. And I did like his character, and I like Luke Goss a lot. So I actually dug that relationship between Jin and Steve Fox, Luke Goss's character. But the relationship, or possible relationship, even between either Christy or Kara, I didn't care about. Because you really didn't get to know either lady. And I don't know if Kara is a Tekken character. I believe Christy is. And neither of them really got a ton of character development for you to give two craps about them. You have other people in this that are fighters. I did like seeing a couple of MMA fighters that I knew in this. Roger Huerta and Kung Lee. Kung Lee played Law, and Huerta played Miguel Rojo. So it was kind of cool to see a couple guys I knew in this being fighters. When it came to the fights, sometimes they were cool. Sometimes they were just meh, okay. I think I was expecting more out of the fights. I mean, they did try to give you some good fights here and there. And some of them were. I did like that during the fight with Misamoto, or I probably just mispronounced his name. I always wondered in the game, why was he allowed a sword? And then no one else was allowed a weapon, but they allowed the character a weapon against him. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But some of the fights are just kind of boring. They try to set up Brian Fury, Gary Daniels' character, as like the main, or one of the main bad guys. They're trying to pay him to take out Jin. And he tries to show a little honor, like it's not about that, but they're like, well, you're cheating and using robot parts. So we're going to either kick you out of here or you're going to do what we want. So they try to set him up, but he has no real character development, so it doesn't really matter. One of the main stories, of course, is the Mishima family, and they do have a lot of the turmoil between Kazuya and Heihachi, and then, of course, when we find out who Jin is, that comes into play, too. And that works out okay. But really, in the end, everything just feels like they were trying to make sure it all got in, especially with characters. Again, we had the Williams sisters, which I do remember. I can't remember if they were both in the same game or which one came first. I can't even remember if one of them was in the first game. I know the Williams sisters, and they did a little bit with them, but like I said, Anna doesn't even fight, and Nina only fights once, I think. And, of course, that just gives Christy someone to fight. So, really, the character development is, for some of the characters, is kind of meh in this. And the overall story just, it feels like, okay, we need to get this stuff in from the games. And it could have been done better. I did like, again, I like the Mishima stuff, the family stuff. But was it great? No. Again, I know there's a sequel, so maybe it fleshes this stuff out a little bit. but really, just as a movie as a whole, the things I like are far outweighed by the things I didn't, and I can't stand weak character development in movies. And you can have the silliest movie but have still good character development. And this one it really screamed, we need character development. Again, though, having Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa in this as Heihachi was perfect. He looked amazing. He acted amazing. So he's by far the best part of the movie. But that doesn't surprise me one bit. The rest of the movie as a whole, it was okay at times and just kind of boring at others. That being said, right now it's free on Amazon Prime, so if you do want to check it out, it's there. You know what? I would give it a pass. I'm not even really interested in seeing the sequel. If it's free, I might check it out, but if it's not free, I'm not going to pay to see it. That's all for this one. See you later.